Okay, it's time for an inspiration boost. Innovators and Entrepreneurs starts now.
Welcome back to the 2023 New You Awards. And now, the Innovators and Entrepreneurs panel. Today's second moderator's podcast is the go-to for all things influence, impact, and next-level visibility. She's the best-selling author of the empowerment guide, Get What You Want, How to Go From Unseen to Unstoppable. We're thrilled to snag Julie Solomon. Joining Julie is our panel of innovators and entrepreneurs. Maya French and Dustin Baker are the co-founders of Koya, the plant-based protein drink that's revolutionizing the beverage industry. They've been named to the Forbes 30 Under 30. Natalie Mariduena, aka Natalie Noel, is a lifestyle creator and model turned entrepreneur and was recently appointed president of YouTube sensation David Dobrik's company. Valentina Ferrer, the former Miss Argentina, is the CEO and co-founder of Kapowder, a women-owned company featuring a range of supplements made with 100% natural ingredients and 100% recyclable and reusable packaging. Starting as a pioneering model and makeup artist to the stars, Kim Baker, CEO of Glamazon Beauty Cosmetics, is a sought-after expert in the industry and continues to inspire and educate makeup artists and hairstylists around the world. Please welcome our incredible panel of extraordinary innovators and entrepreneurs.
Thank you. Hello. Hope everyone is enjoying their lunch. What a great panel that we just saw. And now we're going to dive into another incredible one. So around me are people in business that have taken an idea and a brand, built it, scaled it, and continue to evolve it. They are all incredible innovators and entrepreneurs with real life stories. And they are going to be sharing with us about those stories and helping any of those of us who are thinking about creating our own brands and scaling that on exactly how we can do it. So with that said, I would love to know, how many entrepreneurs do we have in the room? Just a quick show of hands, yes? So you are definitely our people. And with that, I'm going to get started with the incredible Miss Kim. I feel like you are the epitome of vision and idea and making it happen. So can you share with me, how did you go from idea to innovation when it came with Glamazon?
When you believe in yourself, no, failure is not the answer, no, and failure is not an option.
Can you touch a little bit more on that? Yes. That with the belief piece, because I feel, and I get this a lot, that people will ask me, but how can I believe it? How can I, if I don't see it, if I don't know it, how can I believe it? So how have you been able to root into that faith and that belief?
I grew up doing affirmations. My mother taught me it as a child. You know, I can do. The word no is not a word that applies to me. I just really spoke life into myself. And I also had, for instance, the founder of this company, I met him on a job, and he was the person I actually looked at and said, I want to be like this person. I want to be the head of my own company. I refuse to say no. So I started researching, not that I'm a stalker, but I started researching his history and his legacy. And I said to myself, this is what I want to be. I want to be the role model for the next generations. I want to pass the torch. So yeah, you have to speak that life into yourself.
If you spot it, you got it.
Absolutely.
So Maya and Dustin, hello.
Hello.
Hi. You are the founders of Koya, which is an incredible protein shake. We were talking about that backstage, my favorite flavor, which you were like, oh, I'm glad to hear that you like our peanut butter chocolate. I do. I would love to know the same from you. How did you go from idea to innovation?
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I will say it started off as one idea. We started off as a juice company. This guy had an idea to build out juice bars in grocery stores. And every time we came up with a new idea, it was great. Like the juices were super successful, but it was so labor intensive and the margins weren't there that we kept reiterating and coming out with new products. And I'm lactose intolerant. I have a lot of health allergies, and this guy diagnosed me and started coming up with some, new flavors and a protein drink, and I was getting into working out. And when we started selling that protein drink in local health food stores, it flew off the shelf. We were like, this is it. This is the one we're going to dive deep into. And so the other products, sadly, I was very sad. We had to discontinue. But, you have to keep, reiterating until you get it right. And if it takes you about 3 or 4 years and you have a product and it's still not catching on, it's time to pivot. So you have to pivot. I don't know, did you want to add anything to that?
Yeah, I would just say to Maya's point, those are great points, by the way. Starting out, as Maya mentioned, it's really about keeping it to the core. The first panel, I think they covered this pretty well, is staying true and authentic to yourself, and that just gets communicated outward. And so for Maya, it was a very personal thing. We discovered she was lactose intolerant. We built a product around it, and hundreds of thousands of people came out of the woodwork that had the same problem. So we solved it, and that's where we are today.
What would you say some of the initial challenges were with taking this brand to the national scale that you've been able to take it to?
Oh gosh, I think an easier question would be, what problem didn't we have?
Exactly.
So, this is a great question, and it's the most fortunate and unfortunate thing to, the story, I'll make it quick. Maya went on the Steve Harvey show because a mutual friend worked behind the scenes. She goes on, we weren't ready. We got national exposure, and Whole Foods Market came calling maybe a month later. And we had to figure out how to get into 420 stores in about 2 months. We didn't have any funding, we didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't even really know anyone in the industry. So I would say the lesson there is grow responsibly, don't get pressured into saying yes, be comfortable saying no. And those people will still be around, but if you rush into it, you can mess it up and lose that opportunity. So grow responsibly, people.
How did you guys navigate that?
Oh, it was tough.
Like 2 chickens with their heads cut off.
Yeah, what is success? It's a bunch of failures. It's a bunch of failures until you get it right. So for us, it was like navigating who are the right partners to help us get to that next level. Navigating our own mental health when you only have a couple of thousand in the bank and it's like fast burning out. The co-packer's like, give me $15,000 tomorrow. And we're like, oh my God, how are we going to get this? So it's really, really hard to navigate it. But I think if you have the right people around you, the right mentors and advisors, they help point you in the right direction and it helps speed up that process so that you're not making as many mistakes. But you're going to make mistakes no matter what. Yeah.
Hello, Valentina.
Hello, I don't know if I use this, I'm like...
I think we can hear you good.
Yeah, that one is working.
So, Kapowder. Where did your idea stem from, and how did you take that to innovation?
Well, first of all, I want to say hi to everyone, and I feel really inspired to come here. I was like, next time, I'm bringing a paper and a pen, and I will start writing all the ideas. I'm like, my mind is like that right now. Well, Kapowder is a lifestyle brand. For me, I'm from Argentina, I came from a family that eat healthy. Yes, thank you. Eat healthy was something normal. And when I start traveling, I start realizing that so much people are struggling on that or making crazy diet. And in my mind always was something that I was like, why? It's easier. You can enjoy it, eat healthy. So that is how Kapowder starts.
And what do you feel so far has been the biggest strength to your success in getting Kapowder out to the masses?
Well, I feel like we always, have things to learn. And like she was telling, like, it was not easy how she started, she changed things. So we always learning about that. But I don't know, I keep learning, but I feel this is the good time after COVID. Everyone started learning more how to take care of themselves. So I feel like it's a good time for the wellness. It's a good time for the brand right now. I don't know how you feel, but people are getting it. A few years ago, I was trying to tell, like, okay, this is a matcha, because we have matcha, we have probiotics, minerals, and some person were like, what is matcha, or why I should take probiotics. Right now, I don't know if think the same, but right now people understand and use it and have it in their life for every day, normal.
Yeah, beautiful. All right, Miss Natalie, you have a really interesting story and path because you started as an assistant, and you're now president, and you're also a creator in your own right. So I would love for you to share a little bit of that journey of how you were able to tap into your own innovation with you being a creator and now president of David Drobic.
Yeah, I feel like I have a very unique come-up story, and one of my greatest, longest friends, I've known him since I was 10 years old, ended up being a very successful YouTuber, which gave me a really amazing opportunity to come in and help him grow his business and, ideate on how do you have businesses and do different things other than just creating videos. You need to have like a partner that's thinking about those things. And from that, that was 6 years ago now, and we've had a multi-million-dollar merchandise line, perfume, restaurant, we're trying to do it all. But I think just, being friends and really knowing and understanding him as a person, I feel like that's something that sometimes lacks in the space. There's lots of agents and managers and things that come in and they want to capitalize on what's happening or who's popular or who's selling. But really understanding your client on a friend level, on a professional level, has allowed us to do so many amazing things and have such great success.
And one of the things that you really had to navigate, especially in the online brand space, is learning how to pitch and negotiate partnerships and collaborations.
Yeah.
So how did you navigate that in the beginning, and how have you seen that evolve?
It's funny because you're taking all these, pre-pandemic when there wasn't Zooms and you weren't sort of face-to-face, you're just taking phone calls with people. And down the line, I would eventually meet people face-to-face and they'd be like, oh, you're Natalie? You're the Natalie that's in the videos, but also, the person on the phone call that's negotiating these brand deals. And I was only like 22, 23. And, but I just sort of took the initiative. Like I saw a gap in what he was doing and I wanted to fill that, and I saw this opportunity, and I've seen other creators that have done similar things and capitalized, and if they can do it, why can't we,
Beautiful. And on that same thought, Ms. Kim, how did you find and seek out investors? And how did you pitch them? How did you get them on your side? And how did you get them on your team to help you grow?
There we go. Sorry.
So you guys, here we go again with the stalker story. But I had read something in Forbes where a movie director went out and researched all the top billionaires in the country and then pitched his movie. So I did the same. I reached out to people who I knew invested in cosmetics and beauty. And there was one guy that I heard had made $3 billion. And he also had a tax issue that he had just cleared up. And so I called his company, believe it or not, and I got a meeting with the whole team to listen to me, pitch my brand. And as I was in this meeting, everyone looked at me and was just like, she's crazy. And literally left out, but there was one person that stayed. And the one person that stayed said to me, you're crazy, right? And he laughed and he said, but you know what? I like your motivation. I like your drive. He took me out to breakfast. Literally, we decided to do the deal and he gave me $500,000.
Wow.
And that is literally how I started my brand.
Crazy successful.
Yes.
And what does that craziness of you, that drive, how do you feel that served you?
I think when you are authentic in your space, and funny, Cynthia had mentioned this earlier, when you are authentic, people see it. You know, they know, I always have an ongoing joke, not to be shady. I don't sing, I don't dance, I do makeup. That's what I do. And so even if people are out here making money temporarily, if they're a singer or an actress, making makeup, it won't last forever because you cannot fool the public. You can't, you can't fool the public. So eventually you get your few moments and your 15 minutes, and then the people, those of us who are authentic in this space, we remain. So yeah.
Preach. Good stuff.
No shade.
Maya and Dustin, you had a really successful exit strategy, especially just being so young and this really being your first business. So how were you able to do this? And do you have any tips to share with anyone regarding that?
Yeah, I think when you have a brand, it's your baby. You put a lot of effort and energy into it, you birth it, you share it with the world, and then when you exit and you sell it to someone, you're hoping that they can take it to the next level and really, keep everything that you embodied in that brand and keep it going and even exponentially and reach a broader audience. But the worst part is when you actually exit a company and you sell it to someone, and this has happened so many times, where they fold the brand, they ruin the culture, everything that it stands for. So I think my biggest tip would be to find the right partners who align with your vision to sell your company to, because, oh my God, if Koya went away tomorrow because someone mishandled it, I'd be so sad, I'd be so devastated. It's all of that work for what? So definitely choose someone who aligns with your vision, your brand, and your audience.
Thank you, Maya. And
Welcome back.
is that the?
And no, we have more time.
So I think Maya did an excellent job of mentioning the business part of it, but I'll talk about the personal part of it. And you're never prepared for an exit, and you spend the whole time thinking about that Corona bottle on the beach, the commercial, and I just want to sit there and enjoy the rest of my days. That's not what you want to do. And so my advice would be have a plan, because your identity is most likely 100% tied into what you were doing. And even if you have $1 billion, you're going to be lonely afterwards if you don't have something next to jump into and put all that energy into. So the mental side is just as important as the business side.
And Valentina, you did something that is not an easy feat. You went from e-commerce into a ton of stores. How were you able to make that transition?
Well, I feel like now e-commerce, everyone says that it's everything, but for our company was something was the opposite. Retailers really opened the door for us, and we start selling more in retailers than e-commerce. That always says it's easier e-commerce. For us, I feel because our brand is more minimalistic, so we were working really hard to try to show and explain what it was. I feel e-commerce, we start with that, but when we got the really retailers, we start really growing, and was the opposite circle, I can say.
And then Natalie, how do you feel content plays a role in the growth of a personal brand? And I know that you've had such a big hand in that with what you do, especially on the YouTube side.
Yeah, I think going back to my sort of positioning and my perspective, being a part of the content and being a part of the actual creative process has given me such a different and unique perspective that I feel a lot of representatives don't typically have. And so I understand all the time, the effort, the thought, and how the creative actually comes together to make something as simple as a YouTube video or a TikTok or a story or whatever the content piece might be. to a brand that you're selling it to, they're just trying to purchase a story or a post or whatever, but to the actual person that's creating it, it's typically a lot more is involved than just creating something to sell off. And so just understanding that value of whoever you're representing and your client and whatnot is really, really important.
I think the value piece is what I would love to leave on, because I feel that the world, it doesn't give you what you want, it doesn't give you what you need. The world gives you who you are. And so I want to know from each of you, this is a little bonus round, quick fire, who did you need to become in order to be the success that you are today? Miss Kim.
I needed to stop being the yes person and be firm in what Kim likes, what Kim wants. I had to learn to be a little selfish. And unfortunately, it would take my marriage to teach me that. But what happened in my marriage taught me to use that same thought process in my business. And now I have no problem speaking my mind. As a matter of fact, sometimes when I speak my mind, I almost feel like I need to stand outside of myself so I can look at myself and go, oh my God. You know? But I'm proud of the woman I've become. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
For me, I think I needed to believe in myself. I started very young, like 22. I actually didn't graduate college, and all of those things, of course, being a female and African American, everything was going against me. And, I really needed to believe in my natural intelligence and the things that I had actually accomplished and, really step into my power. So I think that was like my biggest lesson into like being who I am today. It's like stepping into my own power.
Beautiful.
Yeah, go ahead. Pass it on.
I feel like this keep working. Thank you. Well, for me, I feel like now that I'm a mom, I keep modeling on my business and all this stuff. I feel really comfortable on that space. But I'm the person that I wake up every morning with the energy that I keep focused, and this is the good moment for me, but I know that I will keep growing. I feel like when you sit in your breakfast and you make a deal, I'm about that.
I think for me, self-confidence was a really big thing, and I think it's interesting because I was involved in the content, and you can see the Natalie 6 years ago that was the assistant versus the Natalie that's sitting up here today. It's I'm the same person, but there's like a sense of confidence that I feel like I'm where I'm supposed to be and doing what I'm supposed to be doing, which is a good feeling. So confidence is key.
Yes. Well, this is wonderful insights into the best in the business at what they do. I want to thank each and every one of you for being here and sharing your success. It is not easy to get to where you are, and I think that requires an ownership and an honorship, and that is what we're doing here today with New You. So thank you so much for having us. And remember, you will have the opportunity to meet and chat with these amazing entrepreneur and innovators later at desserts and downloads. I know I can't wait to talk to them more and you all when we get out there. So in just a few minutes, you can finish your food and we will get to the awards. Thank you.